Alright, next day on the XC90, let's finish this thing up so the customer can pick it up. He wants his wipers to work, right? Also his sunroof, but he ran out of money for diagnostics. I told him every issue is a separate issue in this car. However, we have the sunroof module already down, and let's just see if there's something simple. If it's like a fuse or, you know, give him a freebie. So, at this mirror, the upper electronic module, I noticed that a power feed was missing. Okay, let's check the fuses. So, in the rain sensor diagram, you can see the UEM has 3 power feeds. This is 30 plus, hot at all times, through fuse 11C, 12. Now 11C is this little fuse box here on the left side by the driver, and here are all the fuses. So fuse 12 is the one we're worried about right here. So there's the fuse box layout. Fuse 12 is second row, you know, vertical. I took a picture of the fuse box because, you know, this car has been, let's just say it's not a virgin. So let's just see if all the fuses match the descriptions. You know, the slots are indicated the amperage and what they feed. So 1 through 8, or 1 through 7, that's fine. 30, 30, 25, 25, 25, 25. Then this is 9, 10, and 11. So fuse 9, 10 amp, fuse 10, 5 amp, fuse 11, 7.5. So 10, 5, 7.5. Okay, that's good. Fuse number 12. Hey, you guys see what I'm seeing? We got 2 pins and there's no fuse there. Well, go figure. It's supposed to be a 10 amp fuse. Fuse 13 for sunroof motor is supposed to be a 15 amp fuse, and fuse 14 for the phone module, which, hey, phone module's offline, UEM is offline. That's supposed to be a 5. So 10, 15, 5, and we have blank 7.5, 5, and 15. So someone has been playing Swaptronics with the fuses and put them back in wrong. So let's put in the appropriate fuses in this row and rescan the vehicle, see if the sunroof comes back to life and his upper electric module comes back to life. That's definitely an issue here. Alright, so here's what the fuse box looks like right now. We're supposed to have 10, 15, and 5, and we have blank 7.5, 5, and 15. Okay? So let's pull these out. So obviously that fuse would not feed anything. There's only one terminal there. So that's that was an issue. So we're supposed to have 10, 15, and 5. So I'm going to pull this 7.5 out. That doesn't belong in there, and it's kind of nasty. Okay. And we're going to plug in 10, 15, 10, 15, 5. Alright, let's rescan the vehicle. I just noticed the dome lights came on here. Okay, that's promising. Let's turn the key on, see if the sunroof works. Nope. Now, do I have anything unplugged here? Everything's plugged in. Let's scan it. Hey, UEM is back online. Siren communication fault, sunroof communication fault, rain sensor signal missing. Yes, I have the rain sensor unplugged. And CEM says well, we can come in here and delete this. Okay. So there's also sunroof communication fault, UEM005. We can look up sunroof diagrams, see if something's missing on the sunroof motor. Apparently it's all modules. Alright, so the sunroof still doesn't work, but the UEM is back online. So we have this UEM0005 sunroof communication fault and rain sensor signal missing. So looking at the diagram for the sunroof, here's the sunroof, and there's just one wire. It's a LIN bus that talks to the UEM. Now it's 53505. There's a splice, looks like a violet and white wire, and wouldn't you know it, that's the exact same wire that goes to the rain sensor. Do we need both of these things online to complete the network? I'm not exactly sure, but we know that this harness was compromised, it was pinched, perhaps something got damaged on the network, but I want to restore the rain sensor, fix this harness, plug it in so everything's plugged in, and then we'll see if the sunroof comes back to life and the rain sensor is back online. So this is pretty nuts. Here's the pinch spot in the harness where 4 wires became 1 wire. Well, it's 2 twisted pairs, and if the twisted pairs are pinched together, that's that's not good. So let's separate these out and isolate them. Make sure that the wire is still continuous. We don't want any broken wires. I'm pretty sure the copper itself was not cut. It was just touching, wire to wire here. Okay, so there's that spot. I'll go a little further, and there's this spot. Yep, there's definitely some copper showing through right there, but the wire isn't broken, it's just flattened. So let me wrap these up. We'll reinstall the rain sensor, and hopefully everything comes back to normal. Alright, so I got all 4 wires nicely isolated from one another, just with electrical tape. Let's tape this harness back up and plug in the rain sensor. Let's see if anything happens to the communication for the sunroof. We could even put a scope on there to see if a missing module or unplugged module on the LIN, maybe there's a terminating resistor. I'm not exactly sure what the LIN communication is supposed to look like, but we might as well learn from this case of what are these modules looking for. I'm happy with that. Let's plug it in. Alright, so I got my little 2-channel Z-Way scope out, and I am on this violet and white wire. Rain sensor's plugged in to the OEM harness, and the UEM is in the mirror. There's the violet white wire right there. We have battery voltage, 13.5 volts. The charger's on. Sunroof doesn't work. Plugged or unplugged, this does not matter. We're still at 13.5 volts. Is there a short to power on this communication wire? That's kind of nuts, but we can easily test it with a test light. We can just pull it to ground. That won't, hurt anything. Let me plug that in. All right, so test light to ground. We have a short to power on the LIN bus? What? Where's that? Or is that the power feed to the sensor? Violet and white. Well, I guess we don't know if that's the... Yeah, that's a nice power feed there. Maybe that's a power feed. Maybe I was wrong. Let's look at the other wires to see if they're communicating on something else. Because, you know, this has power and ground, and the only wire that goes to the UEM is the white with a violet. Aha, so for the rain sensing module, we actually have the wires labeled, so the violet and white is not the LIN bus, it's the green wire. Okay, so I was wrong about that. So the violet and white must be a power feed. Let's look at the sunroof module again. There's the power feed. Oh, purple wire, pin 21. A4, okay, or P, whatever P is. It's either pink or purple. I guess it's not violet. It's got to be pink. Let's find pin 4 on the sunroof module. Alright, so on the pink wire, the communication wire, right at the UEM going to the sunroof, we have 190 millivolts. Very interesting. No communication signal. Sunroof doesn't work. Is this circuit now shorted to ground? So test light from battery positive. If it finds a ground, it's going to light up. Let's just touch the pink wire on the sunroof module now, that LIN bus, and see what happens. Will the test light light, and will our voltage go up? Okay, dimly. We're up to... Oh, let's drop the voltage scale down here. 2 volts per division. We're up to about 6 volts. So something is... I don't think the LIN bus should... Draw my test light down. Let's see. Wait, what? Now we have a LIN bus? Sunroof still does not work. Let's clear the codes out. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. How do we fix stuff with a test light? Clear fault code, yes. Okay, key off. Let's see if that goes to sleep. No. I'm just going to wait a few seconds here. Still sunroof communication fault. Still nothing here. So I turn the lights on, and look, our scope does something weird. Now we're at 1.7 volts. Yeah, I don't know. Aha, bingo! There is something else on this LIN bus. And guess what? We had a code for it. Siren communication fault, U0004. That line is shorted to ground. So right here from the UEM on pin 21, it goes to the sunroof module, and we saw 2 pink wires there on 1 pin. Well, guess what? The other one goes through connector 5413, through connector 54.3.1, to the siren control module. So with the test light, I think I improved the situation. If there's green crusties at one of these connectors, then passing some current through it, you know, kind of cleared it up a little bit. And now there's still a problem, it's still not communicating. But this line right here is down. So this connector 5413, I want to find that because I think that is exactly where water intrusion could happen. It's the connector from the roof harness to the passenger compartment harness, and it's somewhere here. I'm guessing it's near the roof pillar, but you have to take trim off for that. And so at this point I'm going to tell the customer, swapping modules is not going to fix your sunroof, man. We got the UEM online. That was a misplaced fuse, a missing fuse. But to get the sunroof online, we can either snip the wire going to the siren, or you want to find the real problem. You want to find this connector and see the green crusty. So that's where we are with that. I'm totally happy. We have to get these wipers fixed. That was his main complaint. And for that, we have to go to the CEM on that wiper park circuit. So we restored the the pinched wire at the rain sensor is taking that whole circuit down, but there's still a problem because when you wiggle that top connector on the CEM, sometimes it, most of the time it's open circuit. So there might be a pin fitment issue, but let's just focus on that, put the car back together, and we might have to leave it at that, without fixing the sunroof. Well, curiosity got the best of me. I took this handle off with the trim. Look at the sunroof drain. It's just dumping water into the interior because it's disconnected from this little hose. And look, that's our roof module, or roof harness connector going to the other stuff. Let's unplug it, look for green crusties. You know there's green crusties in here. Oh man. This is pretty amazing. Let's see if we restore the communication to the sunroof and the siren. Oh gosh. This is not going to be pretty here. Let me unplug this connector. Well, surprisingly, these pins look mint. So I guess this connector was saved from the water, but the water is draining right down this channel to connector, whatever, 54.3, the next one downstream, so we have to go down there, or depin the siren communication wire right here. One of the two. So this is the main power and ground going up to the roof. And then we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other wires going up to the roof. This connector actually looks fine. Impressive. Alright, so basically, let's verify that the short to ground is going through this connector on the LIN bus. So test light from battery positive to the pink wire. And if I just press this connector together, there it is. We're shorting the ground on the siren communication wire. So we have to go further downstream. And I found connector 54.3.1. That's the one that connects the passenger harness to the engine harness. And then that goes up past the central electronics module over there. Now you can see this has also been very messed with. There's like zip ties all over the place. And where is that pink wire? Well, it's right under the zip tie. I'm wondering if it's being smashed into the ground wire right at this connector. We have to undo this connector and see if the short goes away. Alright, so here's our connector. I can see why it was zip tied. Oh, butcher shop again. Okay, let's inspect. All the pins look decent. Let's reconnect our roof harness connector. Okay. And then we'll look at the test light right here while I plug this sucker back in. Let's see what happens. Yep. So the pink wire is still shorted to ground going that way. to our engine room, and then the siren lives in the right front fender. So there it is, there's the pink wire going into here, going across here. There it is. What we could do is just put a current clamp. Yes, there's two pink wires on here, and make sure the short is going towards the siren before we go for the siren itself. So I unplugged the engine harness connector, and look what happened to our lint. It went, now it's going from, let's see, we're at battery voltage down to 1. So hey, the sunroof's back. Oh my word, that's a no good lin. So that siren is still pulling down the lin. Okay. So the test light probably burnt through some of the green car sleeves, but there's still some left, and it's still pulling that signal down. Sunroof is back online. We can delete these trouble codes, and just the siren should come back. Yep, there it is. That was pretty cool. So if you can take modules off the network one by one and see what happens to that communication signal, that's very powerful. You want to keep the scope on the communication line, and this thing doesn't need any parts, people. He has the whole box of new modules. We have the sunroof module and the motor and the mirror. And he was like, well, if you don't want to do it, I'll just do it myself. Like, dude, you're not going to find this problem. No way. You're just going to keep butchering your Volvo. So that's that. Let's finish up the wipers. Alright, so I plugged in the spare central electronic module. I want to see if there's a problem inside the module or if we have a pin fitment issue on that wiper park sense circuit. So we still have 11.1 on the rain sensor pin. Down at the CEM, if I unplug it, 12.76, exactly the same as the old module. And up here on the sense wire, 11.2. Alright, let me plug the original CEM back in, see if we have 11.2 here. We just might need to do some wiring repairs, and these wipers will be perfect. Well, unfortunately, with this original, or the CEM that came in the car, there's still an open circuit. I'm attached to that wire, and I can't even get it to reconnect again. So we know that the wipers will work with the replacement CEM, but I don't have a way to program it to this car. Should we tear apart the old one, see if there's a open circuit? We know that the two pins should be somehow tied together. And this one's showing 11.2, that one's showing open circuit. Alright, here is the central electronic module. I got all the plastic covers off. And what do we see? We see orange paint. So this thing was, I'm guessing, refurbished by Z-Modex. And the problem here, so to pin 31 on this connector, we're missing, it's basically an open circuit to the wiper park sense. And the other pin, D11, this is connector D on the bottom, that goes to the rain sensing circuit, and that would be this 1 through 15 or whatever. So it's on the same board, so the problem is going to be here somewhere. And remember, when we tweaked this, the circuit did come back, but now it's not coming back anymore. So if you look close right in there, it's going to be tough with lighting and camera because I can't separate the boards. there is definitely a burnt trace on the board. So my guess is when that sunroof or the console was pinching those wires together, that was shorting this circuit to ground for a while, and now we have this crap. Unfortunate. How do we fix this? It's definitely that pin. So 28, 29, 30, 31. Yes, the fourth pin definitely has a burnt circuit going to, it's got to be pin 11 on here. That's insanity. My question is, can we just solder a wire externally from this to this and make the wipers work if it's just a burnt, trace on the board? Because this side's good, so we just need to feed it to pin 31 here and avoid any programming. Oh yeah, there, you can definitely see right there. See that black spot? Yeah. So I'm going to try to fix this. We'll see what happens. Alright, so we have our 11.1 volts on the rain sense wire. Let's just jump it to the wiper park sense wire. And release it. So we might be in the park position right now. If it's pulling it down, let's pop this relay back in. 11.1. Okay. Yes. High speed, low speed, intermittent. Sweet! Got it. Let's go to lower the speed of the intermittent. So I guess once it passes the little park spot, it should come on any moment here. Let's clear out all the trouble codes. There it goes. That's a very long delay. So we'll do the external bypass wire permanently to this, I guess to this point, or to this point, wherever is easier, probably inside before it goes into the loom here. That's it. Wipers are fixed. Even though the wiper circuit's burnt up, you can do an external bypass wire around those two connectors. Just beautiful. A customer will be very pleased, and I hope he'll appreciate the time we put into this car. By the way, if you push this rain sense button, it'll wait for some rain on the rain sensor. Let's see. That's awesome. Let's wipe it off. Wow, it works. That's freaking amazing. Alright, let's see. CEM. Just clear these codes out. I love it. Love it, love it, 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 love it. Love Okay. So we just have an antenna light signal missing. Wipers work perfectly. So I'm going to button everything up. That was pretty cool. So multiple problems here causing other problems. And the sunroof, well, if he doesn't want to pay for the diagnostics, I'm just going to leave it broken. Alright, so the final step to repair this wiper problem is to bypass that circuit on the CEM externally, because internally it's just not going to happen. So we're going to take circuit D11, this is the wire going to the rain sensor, and just strip back the insulation a bit. And this wire should be long enough, the one that was previously used in the bypass or whatever. So we're just going to snip that. Strip this back a hair and wrap this around here and solder it on and wrap everything in electrical tape. So this should be a dry environment here, so I'm not too worried about shrink wrap or any of that stuff. So we're just going to do that. And then up there on the other connector on C31, we'll splice this in. This TS100 just keeps on going. My favorite soldering iron of all time. Alright, so I'll just heat up these wires here. Perfect. Always do a little tug test. Happy with that. So let's wrap this up and go up top. So now working from the top, I'm going to splice in all three wires, C31, D11, and the wiper part, going to the wiper motor, all in one splice just to make it neat. And we can actually use shrink wrap right here. So here we go. Perfect. All three wires. Alright. Alright, so now I'm going to fix up this butchery. 3 wires to solder. This should be the final 3. Shrink wrap is on there. Okay, happy with that. These 2 thicker ones.
Smoky.
Alright, everything's soldered up, nice and neat, out of the way. Wires won't get snagged by the motor or anything. Make sure these are securely in the conduit. Alright, here we go. Let's make sure the wiper pattern is good. I got the blades on there. Spray it. Unbelievable. Well, that one's kind of crusty. I don't know if he wants a new blade or not. That's it. We're done. So, Little on the butchered side, this one. Questionable history, but customer complaints addressed, and he can pick up this thing and take it far, far away. I don't ever want to see it again. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.